be a whole lot of who do I think I am. I've been breaking all illusions on 2020. I'm not who I was a year ago. I'm realizing how dope that is. Thinking about who
Hi.
says, who does she think she is? It's not a divine woman to
Thank you
me
for
that's
coming.
me. No one knows
First
more
on.
than I do about who I think I am than me. I see the invincible. I messed around and got another glimpse of my worth. Access got mad skinny. I
420.
release the drama of others from my past. Naturally, they create more powerful connections. Don't study me. Got a judgy criticizing about others. Thank you, everybody, for being exactly what my growth needed to be for me. I really got away from believing my own BS. I cleared stuff about me and me. I examine my own self-incrimination, even if it brings up a lot of pain. I release all the games I play to be right. The way I talk to myself matters. My self-talk can pillage my
Shadow.
myself. I have a compassionate, kind inner dialogue with myself.
Just give it a
I
little
move
bit.
forward, pursuing
I'll
realization
start in a
with the
minute.
ease, the
Just
fears,
let the
the
room fill up a
joys,
little bit.
all the goods, all the
Hello to
feelings.
everybody coming in, checking in.
My presence and energy delicious. This 2020 plus awareness going on got me seeing when I need to change. It's freaking me out when my hands are up and I'm blowing gas at the top of my lungs. I won't pretend I'm a big deal. This gift is a big deal. The force behind the gift is who I serve. That's the
Just
big
let the
deal.
room fill
And
up a
I get
little
to
bit
express how big
before I
of a
start.
deal that is within me. Self-love is rudely brave, and I accept it now. This me that I am now is enough. My awareness is more powerful than all distorted realities and versions of myself.
Just
Infinitely
let the room fill up a little
multidimensional.
bit.
And I cut and paste others appropriately. I'm so out cold with it. I silence irrational thoughts. Striving for real beauty that
Do a
can't
spin
be
off of
fake.
last
Losing my
night's
temper
live
easily. I apologize. I'm correcting and healing the mindset
into
that shaped me
today's.
and tolerated them for so long. I am healing, and I see I don't bond with them because love is appealing. I release you. I won't pretend
Thank you
to
for
be
everybody to
someone
come
you're
in.
not because
Just
those
giving it a
feelings and
few.
thoughts won't match now. And those thoughts are gone now. I see the flattery, sweet tongues, the
Letting the room fill
self-serving,
up a little bit.
and wisdom will keep me from others' sincere BS. My inner human child won't align with them anymore. Cause baby girl is saying she growing up. I'm taking this year at a slow pace. I'm moving, but I'm pacing this thing out. I thank you for letting me do this beautiful job, figuring out some heavy ish
Thank you for
shit.
everybody to
I
come in.
matured more. I transcended all disempowering habits that I made up to make
Start in a
peace.
minute.
And for the pain of rejection and betrayal that I've embedded into my heart memory, I unravel you now. And I don't need you anymore. Thank you. I have a vision board. I'm done being childish. So much, so
Just got
many, I'm
back.
no longer an
Had to
artist.
step out real quick.
I'm paid to know it all. I've embraced the unknown. 2020
I'll
plus
continue on the
awareness
spin off
got
of
me feeling
yesterday, what I was
alive.
talking
I
about.
feel love. I see my thoughts. I see
In
my
reference
flaws.
to
I see
a
me
homegirl's
through new
daughter.
eyes. I
They
see
tried
me
to jump her.
with brand new soul's eyes. I see me now. My thoughts are more. What I say is more.
I ain't gonna start yet. Once I start, it don't end. Thank you for the love. Thank you, Addie. Appreciate that. Thanks for the love.
In a world that is trying to be so real with each other, I surrender so I can get more real with myself. I no longer use social media as my diary
There
to
we
tell my story. I give my testimony. Reel others in to follow my
go.
steps. And if
Thank
it
you.
feel like home, my story's not a commercial, not an advertisement.
It was
It's
alright.
proof
Can't
that I
complain.
wasn't alone.
Still home. I didn't have to go to work today. I got out of the bed for the first time in a long time at 11:30, something like that. Did my writing, my journaling. Some would say my writing. I say my personal notes. Put that hour in for that. Took a shower and I shot outside after that. Regularly, like on a regular day, I leave here around 6:40. I get to work by 7:30. But not today. I ain't have to go to work today. I went to go see a friend of mine, older lady. She grabbed me by my beard and she goes, "I love it." Newport Beach, where's that? That's in Jersey, isn't it? Personal notes. When you do a lot of journaling, you find out a lot about yourself personally. It's a reflection. You start to see yourself. Cali. South Cali at that. South Carolina. Cali or South Carolina? Listen, write down your notes and do the reflection. South Cali. What's the OC for though? My mom is actually in Cali, so it's 1:30 for you. So I know my mom is in LA. Montebello. We used to live in Chino Hills. Then we moved to Victorville. Just so you know that I know what I'm talking about. Orange County. Yeah, my mom's out there in Montebello. We went from Chino Hills, the last time I was there, we went from Chino Hills to Victorville, back to LA. Echo Park, I know where Echo Park is at. That's right by the fountain. Well, it's actually a pond in the middle of the park. but I can't sleep with every girl that I want to. Even if I want to, and even if it's lustful, I have to see with my spirit eye and see if it's pure and in the same frequency as mine, because if not, I'm not taking mine. I'm not putting myself in a position that's only going to hinder me from ever moving forward. No, I'm just saying. It's been 5 to 6 months celibacy. The next situation is going to be the last situation. I'm not doing this anymore. The last stop is my last stop. The next situation is my last stop. But with certain people, you automatically connect, and it just feels natural. And when it feels natural, it feels safe. When it feels safe, you feel seen. When you feel seen, you're being heard. And when you feel heard, not just being listened to, they hear you. And they're listening. So imagine the peace that you may endure at the moment. Everything is temporarily. So you got some time under your belt. I got 5 years. But it's been 6 months with no interaction. Put it that way. That's the plainest way I could put it. But the last time I was in a relationship was 5 years ago. And I love my peace. I don't know, like, if that person can't understand that, how do you communicate? How do you express? How do you speak? How do you... No self-interaction. I ain't that pure. Put it that way. But it is, and I answered. But I feel like I don't talk about this situation, but there was an experience I had where I felt my spirit leave my body. And that spirit that I had developed, cultivated, and it developed throughout time, it was about a year of absence. That's called self-control and self-discipline, and that's super structured. That's real purity. There's moments, there's times, and there's necessities. But I'm not here to be acting like I'm a prune either, you know? But with that right person, things will blossom and bloom and grow into something different. And when they do, that's essential, isn't it? When you do, that connection, you'll just know. And they always tell you, right? You always hear everybody say, I just know. That's when you know. You know within your heart. Not in your mind, because your mind can always play tricks on you. But your heart. And I'm not talking about that rush. I'm not talking about the butterflies in your stomach. I'm talking about your heart. Your soul knows who that person is. It's like an automatic, it's like a plug, right? It just enters in, and it's just like, it's perfect. It's a match. And you feel the utmost where you can be you and that person can be the same. And there's no hidden agendas. There's no agenda, period. There's no, I expect this out of you. Some people have an agenda and a mission in order to, yes, definitely. That connection is rare, it's real, but it's raw, and it's the same time you engage, connect, and it just flows. Whenever you gotta force something, take a step back. Of course, you always want the better for anybody. Period. So the moment I wish bad on anything, I'm attracting it. So always remember, whatever you wish on others, it comes on you first. So those people who do, yeah, that. When you're able to have conversations in your own mind, when you're thinking about that person and that person feels it, that's connection. When that person's thinking about you and you feel certain senses in your body, the sensories are going off, that's connection. That's telepathy. When that person can have a thought and can, or you could be thinking a thought and they will speak the very thoughts that are going through your mind. Or you be talking and speaking a sentence and that person can finish your sentence for you. That's is what we all deserve and need. Everybody. And the thing is, it all starts with just starting to heal from the past into your present. Even your last relationship. Even someone that just you felt disrespected from yesterday. You're still in the process of healing. So from the little girl, it sucks, man, because I just think about the mother doesn't know. She's not aware. She has a little child. She's attending the little child because his mother does. They nurture their kids and they're attentive and they're not so much worried about the one that can walk, talk, and feed itself, because at the end of the day, they feel like the kid doesn't need the mom as much as the baby does. But that's where we're wrong. That's where we fall short, because I feel like kids need your attention all the way until they first year of college. And even still. Yeah, but my friend said she spoke to the mom. Oh, no, wait. The mother called her and told her, oh, I'm sorry that she wasn't aware that this little girl was acting up, fighting outside in the street. And like I told my friend, I said, yo, listen, it's more than that. It's deeper than that. She's just frustrated. She has built up anger, and the only outlet she has is to fight. And I told my friend, like I said, I'm speaking from experience. I was in them shoes one time, at one time, growing up at a time where the extension cord was super thick. It was literally about 2 inches thick. And I don't hold no grudge to my family from all the ass whippings I got. I say it. I admit it. I was a bad seed. But my rebellious ways structured me into who I am today, because I know how to be disciplined and I could be obedient to the structure. It's easy for me. There was none of that, man. They didn't. Well, yes, there was, because I remember my mom beat my ass one day because I didn't do my homework, and we got home at 11 o'clock, and she was like, I'm not gonna help you do your homework. You're gonna take a 0 for your class for lying, because I didn't tell her I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. So she used to wear these 6-inch heels. So when I'm familiar when it comes to heels, and I'm aware of the heights and the inches. That's how I learned about the French manicures with the white strips and all that. I watched and observed my mom's, even though I acted up and I caused her a lot of headache, but I was always aware of what was going on. So she what was the last thing I was saying? So I went to school the next day. When I get to school, there was this little kid named, I still remember his name, and this was in the 3rd grade. There's a little black kid named Timothy. This is in California at the time. For some reason, I guess I used to give him a hug in the mornings. He hugged me that morning. I pushed him off. I said, "Don't hug me, man. I don't like you touching me." And he found it kind of weird. Like, I'm starting to think that I was always a loving kid. It's just that I had a lot of anger in me. And this is how I nurtured my heart today. I allowed myself to feel, but I just didn't have the vocabulary to express. I didn't have the information to be articulate in reference to express what I wanted to say, but now I do. So this little kid, he hugs me, and I pushed him off. I said, "You don't hug me again. If not, next time I'll beat the shit out of you right here in this school. I don't care." He found it weird because he saw me come from a place that I normally don't come at him like. So he told the teacher, something's up with him. When I touched him back here, I was like, "Yo, you little snitch." So the teacher pulls up my shirt. She tells me, "Turn around," and she pulls up my shirt, and she sees all these black and blues on my back. She called ACS right on the spot. I was in the 3rd grade, so ACS did exist back then. My mom, my mom gets a call to work, and now she has to go to show up to court because she thinks it's me that I went and told. I didn't tell. Somebody snitched on me, on her, right? So it's like, I didn't tell Ma. I'm not gonna snitch on you. I don't want you to get in trouble. But they snitched on me to snitch on her, basically. And I'm surprised I ain't go back to school and beat the life out of him, but I didn't know at the time. She tells me after. So she went to court, and the judge was like, "How do you plead?" She goes, "Not guilty." I ain't do anything. I was disciplining my child. My child's out of line. He's out of order. So I'm putting him back in order. So she said that she told the judge just like that, and the judge was like, "So if you lose your kid to the state," she goes, "Take him. Take him. And please don't bring him back because I don't want it. You can keep him. You figure it out. You can deal with it, and you see what you can do with that. Because at the end, if this is what it is, I give up." They dismissed the case. They saw where she was coming from and the way she was expressing herself. They dismissed the case. And she tells me later on, "Also, you got the balls to have the courts look for me and all this other stuff." "What are you talking about?" So she thought I snitched, and I was like, "I didn't snitch on you." I said, "This little kid," and I almost beat his ass. I said, "You would have got another call from me beating his ass." So I said, "Yo, it's always a lose-lose when it comes to me sometimes, right?" At that time, not today. So let's get that framework spoken correctly. At those days, things always felt from one fall to a different fall, and it would be a domino effect. Now in today's, everything's always great, always moving forward. But my mom literally thought I called ACS, whatever you want to call it. Here it's called ACS, if I'm not mistaken. And she thought I had snitched on her. And me, as adults, I spoke with her. There's this scenario that I had. MV, if you're listening, this is what I had to tell you. There was a scenario, there was once this incident that I recall, and I feel like my mom chose a man over me. And I was just 5 years old. She asked me, do I want to come to New York or do I want to stay in LA with her? And at that time, I said I wanted to come to New York. So when I'm telling her I want to come to New York, what had happened for that to happen, for that conversation to take place, was I saw my mom laying on the bed and my step-pops on top of her. I can't remember if he was punching her, choking her, or what, but I remember he had her pinned down. He was on top of her. He was way taller than her. This guy was like 6 foot tall at the time. So I went and got a wire hanger because, you know, I was being hit with wires and shit. So the next thing I knew what to do was position yourself in a defense mode. And this is how I always knew I was always a protector. So I grabbed that wire hanger, I came back and I started hitting him, telling him, get off my mom's. And he stopped. The next thing you know, I recall is her asking me if I want to stay with her or do I want to move to New York. And I said, I want to move to New York. So I ended up flying out to New York alone at 5. And I've been flying alone since. That's 40 years of flying. About to be 41 years of just flying alone. So I recently had a conversation with my mom and I said, yo, let me ask you a question though, man. You know, I always wanted to ask you, but I just didn't know how to word it to you. And I know, because you're very sensitive, you take everything personal and you don't allow me to speak because you think that I'm talking directly at you and you're attacking you. You take everything as an attack when in reality I'm being expressive. So then she goes, what is it? I said, so I just want to prepare you mentally so that you don't attack me. And I told her, did you choose him over me? Because this is how it sounded and this is how it played out and this is what it looked like to me. I've always wanted to ask you, so I feel like you chose him over me. And if you're that type of mother that you choose a man over your child, then I come second best to you. And so I know where I stand with you always. She said, no, it was for your safety. Then she comes in and confesses that he had hit me two times. And out of those 2 times, she said, no, it's not your kid. Sends me to New York. And my grandmother feels like I'm strong enough, prepared enough, bold enough to go back. That's when they sent me in the 5th grade. But she would send me every summer. So I was always constantly flying back and forth. For the summertime, I'll be in LA. But for the most part, I didn't move out there until the 4th or 5th grade. 5th grade. Graduated, went out there in the 6th grade, and every year prior in between that. So the first time I remember going, I came from LA to New York, 5. I went back after 2nd grade because I had stabbed a kid. No, that didn't get me kicked out. What got me kicked out of Catholic school was I hit the teacher with a chair. That's what got me kicked out. I hit her with a chair. And when I hit her with a chair, that's when they said he got to go. They shipped me back to LA. This is the 3rd grade now. I was throwing textbooks out the window of a yellow bus on a highway. So imagine you're driving and books just land on your windshield on the highway, express. I'm just throwing like a frisbee. Because I was that kid. Like, if you want to talk about Dennis the Menace, all that, that's not even the epitome of what I did. I burned down bulletin boards in high school in the hallway right next to my guidance counselor's door. Literally 2 feet away from her door. I said, you know what? I don't feel like coming back to this school today. I pulled the fire alarm and I burnt the damn bulletin board in the hallway because I was that kid. I almost shot somebody because a friend of mine comes with a .45 revolver. And we went to the train station to go practice target shooting. And when it was my turn to go and shoot, a man comes up the stairs and I almost shot him right in his forehead, between his eyes, literally. I didn't pull the trigger and I scared out my ass. I run. And I remember it was snowing. And there was snow in the street. And as I'm running, I hear the helicopter. So I'm like, yo, it got to that point? That guy called the police that quick? I said, oh, shit. I'm like, they're coming for us. So it's 3 of us, 3 of my friends. The guy that, it was his gun. I gave it back to him. And we kept running. And I seen that guy actually the other day in the train. So every time we cross paths, I've seen that guy in PA on vacation one time. I was like, what you doing out here? He was like, on vacation. So anyway, this guy, I seen him randomly from time to time throughout eras, throughout since we've been in high school, all the way to present. Literally about Sunday. I saw him Sunday morning. He was getting on the train. I was getting off the train. Literally almost a week ago. I see the same kid that passed that the gun was his. And he always shows me respect. He's like, yo, what's up, man? And I know he remembers. We go back to that day and that time where we almost killed that man. And I was going to be the one that was going to shoot. I tell you, the God within me has protected me. My spirit guides have protected me. My ancestors have protected me. Have the people that are walking with me, and whoever walks with you, because your ancestors walk with you as well. Never see someone passing away as a downfall or something negative. See it as they have been promoted and they graduated to be on your side to protect you. But most don't know how to detach. Like I was saying earlier this morning with someone, I learned to never get attached as a kid. And that was just a natural defect. I don't know. Because I was jumping from house to house to house to house, flying from New York to LA, New York to LA every year. So I never got comfortable to the place where I was attached to this house. The only thing I really got attached to was New York. Like something in the 80s and 90s, the environment, the energy, and the atmosphere of New York was totally different than what it is today. New York is definitely not the same, and anybody that grew up in before the Twin Towers dropped, after the Twin Towers dropped, New York has never been the same. New York's spirit had got broken and has not been the same New York that I grew up with. New York today is totally different from the New York I grew up with. New York today looks like it's weak compared to the New York I grew up with, where it looked strong. They had integrity. They had a structure that was totally different than what it is today. Like everybody's submissive. There's no one who protests against what they don't have a voice. They don't speak out. No one dares to take a stand for what they believe in. And I don't know if this goes for any of your hoods or your neighborhoods or your areas, your states, your cities, whatever the case is, but New York City has fallen into submission. And that's because they have everything so high in reference to everything you could think of. When it comes to a price tag on it, they have it so high that you have to work overtime and they only want you to work one job. Imagine that. They're trying to create a law right now so that you can only work one job. But yet they tax the crap out of you. So I don't get the fact of how they trying to control you. That's control, man. Manipulation in 101. And this is where some people follow the same system and they push it on to other people, which they feel like they have stronger and the other person is weaker. And that's how they take advantage of the next person. It's called awareness. That's all I'm trying to do is making y'all aware. Aware of your power, aware of your greatness, aware of your dreams, aware of your desires, aware of your passions and your purpose. Awareness is all it really is. Yeah, the stories. People have told me to write and make books and make a movie in reference to my life. Like, I don't recognize the person I was before today. I don't recognize that kid. I don't recognize the adult I was when I was in my 20s. I don't recognize the adult I was in my 30s. Because at least there I give that credit to, right? Where in my 30s, I started to become aware. I kind of like woke up at the age of 28. That's when I started to be informed. I started to wake up and I started to transform because I was already in the gym. And the gym opened up my mind. It opened up my eyes. And I started to see things from a different element, perspective, and aspect, and from different perceptions and understanding. And then I started to look for hunger for knowledge. And knowledge fed my mind, but my heart and my soul all at the same time. That's always the impression they say in the gym. Like, yo, you look like the guy that you don't fuck with. And I like to keep it that way because it keeps people away. To be honest with you, I'd rather them to stay away than to get close. Because I'd rather be feared than loved sometimes. Because love makes you look weak, even though it's strength. And I know the true meaning of love. It means you're strong. But when you're around low vibrational frequencies, you rather operate out of their system, right? Their system is, I'd rather be feared than loved. But when you're operating on a high frequency, I'd rather be loved and not feared. It's a difference. And I know how to operate in both frequencies. When you look into the gates of my eyes, these are the gates to my soul. Right? So the entrance into my soul is through my eyes. But I've experienced some shit in life, period. I could sit here for hours and tell you all types of shit that will have you. And I don't look for pity. I don't want I feel bad, I feel sorry for you, and none of that. Because at the end of the day, it shaped me into the man that I am today. It cultivated me and it prepared me and it positioned me to what I am today, where I gotten to. And I'm still striving towards. So it never ends until my lights go out. Until my last breath leaves my body. I am not stopping. I am not quitting, and I'm not gonna be submissive, and I'm not gonna surrender to the position where I am today. I'm still striving for more, and I know there's more. And it's always about that outlet for me. It's always about the constant development of oneself, right? It's always about wanting and being and becoming the best version of yourself. So it's always about better today than you were yesterday and better tomorrow than who you are today. I'm looking at the hoodie to the side that I'm wearing today, actually. And one of the things it says, never to want to fit in. Never to fall in line, and the fear of being average. And that it resonates, but at the same time I live by that. And I'm actually, so you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see it, but the fear of being average. Wasn't meant to fall in line. Problem child, definitely. Right? Not normal, definitely. Misfit all day. Wanting to be someone, obviously. No dream. No desire to fit in. And then that right there is the meaning of everything for me. The fear of being average. Because one thing is, I would never want to look like anybody else or be like anybody else. I'm going to be me at all times. And It was a custom made hoodie. If you see the lettering, it kind of resembles the tats. And there was only 100 that made. And I specifically wanted my wording. And when I saw this hoodie, I said, yo, you gotta make me one. And there was only 100 made. I got it, just a limited edition, like for real, limited edition. It's only like what they do with the Ferraris, right? They make about 100 to 300 cars per year off that showroom line. And it's like rare. I'm like I say, I don't ever want to look like the next person standing next to me. And I don't know what it is, but people get intimidated by me for whatever reasons. But I feel like I bring out the insecurities in people. And if I have that ability, it's just a reflection of what's inside of you, because it has nothing to do with me. So I don't never take it personal. I used to take it personal. I used to say, what's your problem? I don't understand. I don't get it. And I used to run around with this constant narrative of why. Like, I come to the conclusion nowadays that that's not my issue. That's not for me to answer as a why. That's for that person feeling that way to deal with their own personal insecurities. And I'm not here to be problem solving for people. I'm trying to guide and direct, but I'm not trying to be dictator. I'm not trying to be, all I'm trying to be is an advisor, if that. And I'm about to cut it because I'm running late. My daughter told me, can you take me to the park at 6? And I'm pushing it. In reference to that little girl, may her God keep her heart and soul. And may she experience some supernatural healing, because if we could just put a little prayer out, something simple, something minor, something quick, so that she may feel through this community and this little circle of people, and just, I don't know, it hurts and it bothers to see a kid that's lost, because you only think that it stops with you, right? Because it don't happen. You're not doing it. You don't think anybody else is doing it anymore. And this is something else that I have come to the conclusion as we expect people to think or act like we do. And this is only setting and preparing you for a disappointment. And then it leads to the preparation of being disappointed. You can't have an expectation on others. You got to let them show you who they truly are through their actions. And let their actions tell you who they are. And always listen to what someone is saying in order for you to see and realize, for them to, eventually they'll slip, stumble, and fall. It's only for so long you could play and project and act and pretend to be something that you're not. I refuse to be something that I'm not. I will always be me. And thick, thin, and through it all. I'm not here to be a people pleaser. If anything, what I'm just trying to do is awaken people. Awaken your mind, awaken your heart, awaken your soul, and combine the three into one, and to stand in unison and activate the powers within you in order for you to be fully flourished and fully developed and fully transformed. That's my goal. That's my aim. And spread love and knowledge all at the same time. That's all I would like to do. This is what I would like to see happen. And in one of my prayers in that, I said, allow me to touch 1 billion lives. Because there's 7. I don't want to 8. Technically, it's about to break into 8. But out of this 8 billion, just let me touch 1 billion lives. You're not crazy. You know what it is, that you have a connection with that divine within yourself. The heavens, they tell you it's outside of you. They always want to take the power away from you because it's not in you. But the moment you discover that it's in you, it's the moment you start to activate and act out of the power within. The power has always been inside of you, from the wisdom to the power you possess to the access you have. They tell you heaven is outside of you, but heaven is here. Heaven is in your mind. You create the heaven on earth. You are heaven on earth. You transitioning from heaven into earth is heaven on earth. But they don't teach you on how to dissect certain parts of the Bible. They don't teach you the real codes and decipher and just read between the lines and tell you the truth and what it really means. But that's our homework to do. And the real heaven is here in your mind. And you give life to anything that you speak. And that's creating your reality right before your eyes. And the gates connect to the soul, right? So if your eyes are the gates, the power within is right through here. But if you know the truth that only 99% of what's going on around you, you can't see. The eye only sees 1% of what's actually going on around you. So if we had 100% eye vision, I forgot how they called it, and you can see, you'll be able to see into the unseen realm, which is all the energies and all the spirits that are walking around. And I prayed for those eyes. Give me the eyes to see into the unseen realm. Give me the ears to hear the utterances of your voice. And give me the heart. This is a hard prayer right here. Don't ask for this shit if you ain't ready for it. Break my heart for what breaks yours. Break my heart meanings it. So I built a wall so high, so tall, so structured. For him to break every part of me has allowed me and openly to be vulnerable at a time when I was cold, numb, and I couldn't feel. Sometimes little songs can actually bring a tear to my eye, and I'm like, damn. I asked for it though, right? So just be mindful of what you're asking for if you're not ready for it, because you will get it. And circumstances and situations and events happen where it broke my heart open. So now I have no layers on it, and I live by it, and I don't let situations build up layers, because if not, I'm putting a blockage on my own heart, which allows me not to have connection. And that's the most important thing, is foundation is connection. Without connection, you can't build. And a lot of people have trust issues. And that's something that you got to still, a trauma that you got to heal within. Because if you got trust issues too, that's something that you got to personally heal from. Again, write it down, release it, and let it go in love. You got a dream, write it down. What do you expect? What do you see for the next 3 to 6 months to a year that you want to see accomplished, and get back to that paper a year from now and see what happens. What have you manifested? And if you still haven't seen it come to pass, continue to write it, continue to believe in it, and continue to act on it, which is the most powerful thing of it, besides visualizing. But let me shut up, man, because if not, I'll be here all day. Thank you for everybody listening, hearing, and coming to visit and to be a part of the space. Thank you for coming, constantly coming back, showing love, showing up, and being supportive. I appreciate you. And I made up for that one live that I missed last night. So hopefully, if anybody wanted to see this, I'm gonna probably put it up maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure when, but I'm gonna have to put last night's live on YouTube, and then I'm gonna put this one up the day of, because I don't want to have so many continuously back to back that people don't even bother to look at it. But I will be putting it up. Enjoy y'all weekend. God bless. And thank you for the support.